Whoa, Hobolite. Yeah, I know you've heard about this before, especially if you're a photo nerd, lighting nerd, you're on this channel. I mean, it got pushed all over YouTube and on social and stuff like that. And I don't know, I was curious about it and somehow a bunch of it made its way into my hands. So let's do a first impressions over the Hobolite system. Stick around. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Seth Miranda. I'm a pro photographer right here in New York for over 2 decades, and welcome to my studio here in Manhattan. If you're watching this, you probably know this channel by now, and we do a lot of lighting in here, live shooting, a lot of techniques, usually strobe, but constant light is more and more prevalent than ever nowadays. It's getting smaller, lighter, higher powered, cleaner, all sorts of stuff. It's just getting more accessible and just better every day. And it seems like a very, very crowded market. It's definitely being put out by some brands you never even think would have lighting out there. But here we are, 2024, there's just LED lights everywhere. And I get it. And when I first saw Hobolite, my first impression was, that's probably expensive. And I pretty much judged it on the aesthetics. I mean, everything is made to look kind of like, I don't know, like a Hasselblad Bronica kind of deal, even has like, the shutter buttons down here and stuff. But, oh, wait, there's more to it. Oh, there's mounts, there's lenses, there's zooming, there's non-zooming, there's gels, weird gels, there's sizes of unit. And I said to myself, huh. And then I talked to them, and I don't know many people over there, but the people that I did talk to, I know them from other brands, very, very high-end, super respected brands. And when I talked to them, they couldn't stop themselves from telling me everything they love about it and everything that they wanted me to check out about it. And they said, wait, you know, let us get you something. And heads up, this is not sponsored by Hobolite at all. They didn't ask me to do this video or any content, and they have no say over what I say in this video or anything going forward. They were just honestly cool enough to give me a bunch of their stuff to check out and make my own assumptions about it. So a bunch of stuff showed up and I want to take a look at it. This is a very, very rough first impression. This is not going to be scientific. I'm not pulling out color metrics. We're just talking about these lights overall. And there's a little bit of a system going on here. Let's start off with probably what we have here. So this is a lighting kit that I would say goes for an aesthetic, right? I mean, it is premium feeling. When you pick it up, everything feels very, very well made, has substantial in your hand kind of, and then you look at it and you realize that there was a lot of thought that went into the design of it. We're in a lot of flat lighting here because I just didn't know how else to do it, but maybe we'll shut off the light and show you a few things on these a little later on. But everything that you get from them has been thought out to a detail. I mean, even like the boxes are beautiful, right? And even on the back of the box, they give you all the metrics, all the things you might want to know about that. Not that I don't think you'd ever be in a store and be like, but it is cool to see that, especially if you want to think about a brand that goes, well, if they think this hard about that much detail that I can see, what's going on under the hood? And it makes you kind of trust a little bit more. I can't speak to the longevity of these lights. I can't speak to if they shift color over time, how they will hold up over time. Will they, will something happen with aging? I can't speak to that because they haven't been out that long. In my opinion, it's hard to say it unless you've been in the field with it for said amount of time. But I did run their big guy, this Avant. I ran it all day today. And when I say all day, I mean over 13 hours. It's been on. It's bicolor, it's a plug-in light. And when you take off this softbox, which, nice looking softbox, huh? You can see that it's just a straight up point source, right? And you can put a lens on this thing. And that's what I think kind of part of Hobolite is that the lens system really lets them, I want to say, quote unquote, get away with lower power bodies while giving you an output that might be a little bit more than you think it is for how much power they're rated for. What am I talking about? Well, for starters, this is only 100 watts, but I was able to use it here today. I will say that it was tough in this daylight studio. You've probably seen a lot of Hobolite videos, which by the way, I have watched no one's videos, not even my friends. But most of the time with videos on lights like this, they'll put them in a controlled light setup. Like it's not in a well-lit environment and it's keeping up with the ambient light. No, it's usually in like dim light, night, dark, whatever, nightclubs, whatever they're using them on, right? And I get that. But if I'm gonna buy a constant light for a purpose that I need, like filming in here, I wanna see what it can do. And as soon as I put on the softbox that you just saw, it had 2 layers of diffusion, and I put the grid on just to see what would happen. And right away, not enough light. I had to take the grid off, and I took off the front baffle, and it was kind of there, but I didn't like the look of the light without the front diffuser on. What I did do is put the front diffuser back on, and then I just moved it ridiculously close. I'll put a picture up right here. It was less than arm's length from me for the video, and I'll put the link to the video I shot with the light on in tungsten mode, and I shoot, spoiler, I shoot a lot of my videos in tungsten white balance using tungsten lights so that the daylight has a cool look to it. Like, I mean, literally like blue, so that there's like a separation and you get like I just wanted things to look different, and I've always loved shooting stills like that. That aside, this is the lens that goes in front of this thing, right? So this actually mounts right there. And I would think that if I could put a lens inside here, inside the softbox, maybe I would have gotten a little bit more light out of it. I don't know, but I wasn't able to do that because it uses the same mount. The other thing is there's so much to this system. Every case has so much stuff in it. I mean, when you pull out the Avant, first of all, you get these beautiful cases. Everything's beautiful, right? And I get that. If your brand is like, everything's premium, everything's nice, you show up and you charge a premium for your services and you show up with these nice looking things and everything's beautiful and the case is, oh, so premium. There's clients that appreciate that. Or maybe it's public. Maybe you're in an event and they want you to blend in with this high-end wedding or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just making things up. I get that too. Or maybe you want them in frame because you stream on Twitch or whatever, and you have an aesthetic that's got a steampunk vibe or whatever. Kind of get it. But for me, my brand is, I dress like a janitor, dude. Like, I want my stuff to be durable, be able to take hell that I throw at it, and I don't really care how pretty it is most of the time. I appreciate great design though. I absolutely do. When I first saw Hobolite, I thought all you were paying for was this gimmick aesthetic. And I'm going to just go ahead and say I was wrong on that. I do think that there is a little bit of a drawback of how much power you have to work with versus the price of the units. I'm going to put the links for all the units down below and you can check it out. I'm not going to list prices on here because prices always change or whatever. But what I will say about Hobolite is even though you only have 100 watts here and you've got 8 watts in this micro and you've got 20 watts in this mini, and I'm going to even show you the pocket light, which I think is probably the coolest thing. I mean, this thing is 5 watts, but it's got so much fun stuff to do with it. I'm going to go into that in a second, but even though you have 100, 20, 8, 5 watts, for the price, I can list plenty of fixtures out there that give you a lot more watt output, right? And then I said to myself, well, how can I modify this? Because that's like any lighting person is like, well, what can I put on this thing? What can I modify it with, right? And I hope or think, or there probably should be some sort of adapter to Bowen's mount with this, and then you can put whatever you want on it. But then the big question to me is, well, what would you put on it and how big would that modifier go, right? In my head, I'm saying you're probably paying for aesthetic and whatever, but I will actually say, while there is like just a little bit of a heavy lean on gimmick, it is, to my experience, which is very short, very well made, and a lot of things are really well thought out, including their stands. So the light stands are kind of crazy because they are all carbon fiber, right? Like this is feather light, guys, feather light. And This is this stand opened up. One thing I want you to see though is that they put a 3/8 and then a 1/4 spring adapter in there. So you can actually mount this either 5/8 post for whatever you want to use, or you can screw on something with a 3/8 like this adapter here, or you can screw on a 1/4 like this. And every light came with some kind of, well, not every light, the smaller lights came with some way to mount with this almost like a V-mount, right? V-mount clicks in, not bad. Then you've got this ball and you tighten it down however you want and you're good. And if you don't want that, they gave you cold shoe versions of it, which are nice for things like video rigs that have a cold shoe in the cage and things like that. Let me go back to the stand really quick. This, the drawback I'm gonna say is that it is just shy of being short enough to fit into a carry-on bag, which is like, oh, because other than that, everything here is crazy portable. And it all comes in a nice bag. Look at, oh, it's so nice. Oh, it's so nice. But I just don't know any like hardcore working pro. I don't know any of us that would have one bag for one stand and that's it. So to me, this is nice and all, but I think every stand that ever comes with a bag, you're probably like, ah, that's good, but I'm gonna put like 5 in this one bag here and go fly with it, right? The other thing I'd say is I wish that it was just tighter to itself so that you could pack it in a bag easier. But other than that, these stands are pretty rad. They're just carbon fiber, which means you're gonna be paying for carbon fiber. They can go completely flat to the ground, which is cool. No like flat metal here, which means that you won't like step on it and bend it or have a, some kind of issue with it not holding up. I mean, it's a carbon fiber tube, which is sick. The other thing that's cool is it's twist lock, right? Twist lock means no knobs, nice and clean looking, right? Nice and tight to the stand. Everything's just very uniform and it just is really, really well thought out as far as the design goes. And they're just beautiful stands aesthetically and again, just so light, so light. It's crazy. Also, they go up just shy of 8 feet. I mean, this is up there. Pretty cool. Nice to see some great stands. I love some good grip. Love me some good grip. You guys know that. And carbon fiber, as long as you don't pierce it, lasts you forever. Forget about it. Usually I'm like, I don't want my stands to be too light because you still want them to be stable, but these lights are so light and small, it kind of fits. So again, it does seem to go and work well together. The lights themselves, even something like the big guy, the 100 watt Avant, if I'm even saying that right, I don't even know. You can tell that even the power supply isn't like an OEM or some kind of like, they bought it as like a universal thing that goes to like 6 million other devices out there that came off an assembly line in some random factory. Like no, they actually kind of developed this. You can feel that there's like a faux leather to it and the cable is nice and generous. Like you don't have to worry about probably having an extension cord or anything like that. The V-mount, things like that go a long way for me and everything seems like they're not being stingy with you. They're giving you modifiers. They're giving you barn doors and all this other stuff. And everything feels nice and premium. And that they'll give you a peace of mind. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, while I may have thought like, oh, you're paying for an aesthetic, I don't think you'd ever say, oh man, what did I pay for? Because it's not like another light out there that is trying to mimic something else. How many times have you seen a light that is just a random name, but they made it red so that it looks like another brand out there because they want to see it in use and someone goes, oh, I've seen that light, and someone who doesn't know any better thinks that light is the real light and they go and buy it, right? In a flooded, saturated market of LED lights, they're doing a good job of standing out and doing what they want to do. I really do appreciate the lens system. In fact, things like on this Mini, you get a zoom lens, which is not the biggest deal in the world, but it's cool. You know, to have that control on the fly is cool, man. You know, you turn it on, you know what? Let's plug the big guy in, point at the sky, and see how much it really does light up everything. And then we'll look at some lights against the wall. Let's do that. Okay, so this is with the 100-watt pointed at the sky, bouncing off the ceiling and lighting. This is the only light that's on in this room. I'm at f4, a 50th of a second, and I'm at 1000 ISO. Not bad. Let's move this a little over so that we can take a look at the lenses against the wall, right? This isn't bad. And you can see that it's like a clean light, right? You can tell it's clean. You know, I mean, yeah, the angle of it's not the best. Maybe I'll point it a little bit more that way. Not bad. I mean, I'm literally just, one thing I think that's a miss is this looks like one of their zoom lenses that's on the small lights and it doesn't zoom. Maybe if I'm missing something, maybe there's another light. The other thing I'll point out is, I don't really hear a fan, dude. Pretty nice. And this thing fits in my palm, you know? This little guy right here, look at how small, I mean, I know I have big hands or whatever, but like here. Tiny, and it's cute and it's nice. I get it. And, you know, this one has a built-in battery, which is fun and cool to use. Not bad. This is at 100% though. Now, if I go to the wall, can you guys see? Let me move this guy. And let me move this a little out of frame. How's that? So at the wall, and then you zoom it, you can see that it does have an effect. This tiny little lens, move it really close. Not so much, move it back. Spread, diffused, a little more point. Spread and diffuse, a little more targeted. Pretty nice, I could see people using that, you know? Again, you're paying a little bit more of a premium, but I do feel like these don't feel like junk. I wouldn't be like, well, what did I pay for? I think that's really what I'm trying to get across on this. And it's bicolor, has the steps, right? Steps, you know? You go from 27K all the way to 6,500, which is all right, you know? I'm gonna shut this guy down. And then you've even got this mini, this one. And there's so much more to these. There's like so much stuff. Look at how much stuff. Look at how much stuff they give you. Look at all the stuff. Look at all the stuff. Tons of stuff. I'm sure you have to get the kit to get the stuff, but it's still there, right? And this one, battery powered as well. And this is a little bit bigger, a little bit more of a punch, but I'm kind of feeling it, you know? So if I take this with the zoom lens over to the wall, you can see, right? And then we take it back, diffused, a little more targeted. Diffused, not bad, you know? And I can even point this at the sky, get a little bit more light in here, right? And this is on battery, right? So this went from a pretty flat room to a little more of a sculptier light, but you can tell how clean it is. Do you guys see it? Again, I'm not doing color metrics here. I'm not sitting here with, you know, high-end light meters or whatever. And you know, you get your barn doors and they feel substantial and they got the nice color and all the stings. I get it. Here, I'll even turn on the little guy. This is the micro. I'll even point that at this guy, see if I get anything out of that. I doubt it, but whatever. One that I think is the most fun, honestly, is this thing. This ridiculously small. This one's called the Iris. I thought this was the micro. It's not. What's cool is it actually comes with an Iris. Everything is magnetic mount. Super fun. Really, really interesting. Like if I put this on, I go, can you guys see the texture light that you get out of this? You throw this behind somebody for a quick interview, you got some kind of speckling going on. Or what I like is that there actually is an iris, guys. This is super fun. I love when lights come with irises. It's a weird thing for me, and it's not something you see, but it just shows how different they're kind of thinking, right? So you can really, you know, cover the wall, really go tight. Or if you want to go ridiculous, you can, right? It's there. You have the ability. One of the things I thought was cool was you have multiple lenses for multiple type of speckling. You can stack them. Or one thing that I thought was really cool, which it made me think of dado lights, which are crazy expensive, but incredibly amazingly engineered lights, is they come with these like really cool, oddball looking gels. And it's, it's a whole kit obviously, but once you slide it in there, you can spin it a little bit. So let's put it up against here. I don't know if you guys can even tell, but you can, you can really have like some split tone, weird kind of thing going on there. Let me see what happens when I shut these lights off. Now we're just playing around. I don't know what to tell you guys. You're in for it now. It's you signed up for this. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. I mean, can you guys tell now? Like it's pretty cool. And then you just stack on all sorts of stuff, right? You put on the iris, and then you've got split gels, and you're really controlling them, and you're doing all sorts of weird stuff. Or keep the gel in there, the split gel in there, and throw in this like weird disco ball-y thing. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see the texture you get out of this thing, but I could see just in a pinch, it's in your bag, you've got it, and you use it, and you save the day. No, I mean, the reality is that it's gonna be what you make of it, just like anything else. The question you have to ask yourself is all this stuff useful to you? Is all this stuff something you want? But what I can say is, I don't think you would regret what you bought as far as it going, oh, this doesn't feel worth it. Are there higher powered lights at lower cost? Yes. Are there more versatile lights at lower cost? Probably. But if this is something you're looking at, like the way I looked at it, what I would say to you is stretch your brain a little bit and look at every little detail they included. They let you be creative with it. They thought about portability with it. They thought about quality with it. They thought about just being different with what they're doing, and aesthetics go a long way for some people. For me, I appreciate them. I love good design. I'm wondering if there was a world where these were priced a little differently, just a little bit lower, would I even be saying this? But after having played with and actually shot some videos with them as my key lights, I can say that the next thing they put out, I wouldn't be like, I don't know. I'd be like, all right, I'll give them a shot. Let me take a look at it. For me personally, I don't care about like looking cool when it's in my hand or whatever, but I could see this being a conversation piece. I could see this putting a client in a better headspace, looking at it and going, oh, this guy has taste. I bet you whatever they're gonna give me as a delivered product for this documentary or event, a wedding thing or whatever, I bet you it puts in their headspace, they got good taste. I feel all right that I hired them. I could see it. It's crazy, it's stupid, but we've all been there. We've set up extra lights to make them feel better, right? That they spent the money the right way. We've all been there. I'm kind of rambling here because, again, no script, off the top of my head, and I just wanted to really go over some of this stuff. It's well made. It's clean. It works. I'd say my drawbacks are I wish there was more power, but they also don't seem to get hot. They stay quiet. They haven't shifted on me in 13 hours. Pretty nice. And, could there be more power? Could they do it? If they put out a higher power light, I think the biggest issue would be is that they have to price it to be the higher powered light. And that's where they start maybe pricing themselves out. Other than that, it feels like it's solid. It was thought out. It's pretty intuitive. There's a couple quirky things on this one that weren't intuitive to me, but everybody's different. And I just like the way they're thinking about things. What I don't need is like this. The fake buttons that don't do anything because they just match the aesthetic. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Make that the power button. Do something. Come on. I don't know. This is probably running a little long, as all my other videos do, but I want to give you guys my quick first impressions. Keep up with this channel. We'll pepper them in places, but I did shoot a couple of videos with the Avon as my key light. I didn't use the other two ones. This thing, I gotta tell you, my brain's been spinning with what I could do with this thing on the fly out of nowhere. Maybe we'll do some shutter drag stuff. Let me know in the comment down below what you guys want to see with these. But I hope this was helpful in any way, shape, or form. Boy, this was a lot. Okay, I want to thank Hobolite for sending me a bunch of stuff to play with. This has been really amazing. Again, guys, links down below if you want to check them out for yourself. Don't forget to like, share it around, hit subscribe and the bell. I'm almost at 100,000 subscribers, and I can't thank you guys enough. And if you guys want a 24/7 non-toxic photo community where you can ask questions whenever you want, share work, answer other people, just talk with other nerds, check out the Discord link down below. You are welcome to join. We're at about 1,000 members, and it's been pretty great so far. So thank you guys for being part of that as well. And oh yeah, I forgot. Follow my social stuff. Check out my work on Instagram. That's where I post most of my BTS and my actual work, and you can stay in touch with me a little better through Instagram, but Twitter as well. And whew, boy, this was a lot, huh? Hope this made sense. Probably repeated myself like 40 times. Whatever. It is actually the next day in here. It's going to be daybreak soon. I got to get out of here. Be good to each other, guys. Later.